do the okay. It's cool because I can just pass the mic.
Okay, speak.
We're live. We're live. What up? What up? What up, New York?
Oh, you didn't put it on RateGame.
Oh shoot. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, folks.
We're adding it to RateGame.
This is. Oh, it's pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sound is crispy. All right, let's see. RateGame admin. Featured video. Today is what? Tuesday. Tuesday, June 9th. Okay. Live at 2:30. I should say 2:30. Okay, schedule now. Oh man, look at that. Oh, it's a 9:06 now. All right, let me get back to this. All right, we got 4 folks. Oh wow, who's here?
Who's joined us?
We got some joiners. Oh, yeah. Me too. Me too, Kings fan. Thanks for saying so, though. Was an interesting game. I certainly have thoughts on it, which is why I didn't want to miss the live. What happened?
Let's just not.
Wait. Oh, it's on the app? Try it again. Usually it goes up on the hour. Okay. Yeah, or on the minute.
Okay.
Nice. Man.
We're trying to get it on the app, so.
Appception.
So we're good to go.
Liveception. Oh, look at that. If I go back out, you blur in.
Let me say hello. Hi.
All right. So special guest with me today, who's actually my recurring guest, my producer, my co-founder, co-host, whatever you want to call it, my wife. So the tail of the tape, folks. Well, this is RateGame Live for anybody who might just be wandering on the internet and coming across these two people in a makeshift studio here.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the chair here, but we're in New York. We flew to New York yesterday so we could be one with the city and be here for the Knicks game. Didn't work out the way we wanted, but we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot. Let's digest. Let's get into the game.
You want to get into it? Okay. Well, let's do what we always do first, which is the question that we ask and answer. Were the sports good? Now, it's going to be tricky, but I did do this yesterday, and I think I know what to do here. We do a little double feature. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can squeeze over. And then there we go. Appreciate everyone's patience while we. Oh, there it is. Nice.
I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So last night we had ourselves another green. And I think obviously the Knicks game was the breadwinner. Most of those ratings, over 100 ratings, I think we're up to like 120 on the Knicks game last night. The Spurs game, whatever you want to say. Bias here. But there was also a baseball game that is right now, as of this live, is a 9-6. One of the craziest baseball games. Yeah. I was reading the takes and then I actually saw the highlights. It just looked like out of a movie or something. And I guess the question I have to the chat is, was that the first game that they played at this Vegas stadium for the A's, for the Athletics? Are they the Las Vegas Athletics officially? Are they just the Athletics? So if that was the first game, that is probably the best opening game ever at a stadium, to have it go into extras and to end the way it did. Wow. I don't know, Raise Up, dude. That's like, where are they? They're kind of like in limbo. They're like out in the world. Wow. No way. A 4.5-hour game. That's crazy in the modern game with like the extra ghost runners. All right. So that's why we have a great night in sports. There was a fantastic NBA Finals game. And also that crazy, crazy baseball game. Wow, look at that. 3 for 3. And baseball is green. That is super, super rare. That is crazy. Green night all around. 12 games played, so not the most inventory, but 3 active leagues, 234 ratings, 394 on the platform. The calm before the storm, folks. The calm before World Cup mania takes over. 2 days out. Can you believe
Literally
it?
2 days out. It's nuts.
Can
This
you-
is, I mean, for everyone who's on RateGame, I'm not if everyone's aware of it. Nick says it all the time, but we built RateGame. We started it 2.5 years ago. And Nick's mantra, Nick's goal was we are going to make it to the World Cup. We're going to make it to the World Cup. RateGame will stay alive into the World Cup. And here we are.
Here we are. It's crazy. It's the writing, or like the way that I was always phrasing it when leading up to this moment, just thinking about it, was like, you know, obviously you're fans of teams, but then when the World Cup comes around, it's like you're a fan of your country. You have like the pride of a nation and the love of the game. That's what it's all about. And rating a game not as just a fan, but like as a country person. I'll say countryman, countrywoman, country folk. It's just different. There's different levels to fandom, and I think that is like the apex. That is like the highest level of fandom you can have, is when you're rooting for your country. All right, so yeah, let's get into it. The sports were great. It was a great night, but not for my team anyway. Not a great night for the Knicks. The Knicks lost, and they did so in heartbreaking fashion. I mean, it was kind of close, but it was new countries who sign up. Yeah. As like we get ratings from these countries, especially ones that, you know, the ones that we covered where we see it, nobody's rated from yet. We definitely want to shout them out and call them out. That'll be very, very fun. I'm hopeful that like we get every single country that's in the World Cup, we get at least one person rating. That would be fantastic. All right, so yes, to the Knicks game. The game was very exciting, but not the outcome. Okay, wait, how do I do it? Okay, yes, there we go. Boom.
It's in the greens, which is good. Pretty high, 8.1. I mean, I guess it was a good game for the Spurs fans. But no, I'm glad it's in the greens. Regardless, this should have been a green game because it was very good. It was fun. It was electric.
You had a lot of fun?
Yes, it was so much fun. There was a lot of great moments for the Knicks too. There was like, as a Knicks fan, we had enough good shots and good moments for us to celebrate and enjoy the game. But the last 10 minutes were brutal. I think, you know, you had to, I was watching Nick, you know, like fight himself to not get upset.
Yeah, there was one moment in particular where I think it was either a miss from, I think it might have been Shamit or somebody in the corner, or maybe Clarkson. Somebody had a three that they just had to have. We just had to have it, and it didn't go in. And I slapped the bar out of frustration. That was like my boiling point. But other than that, I think, you know, the Spurs kind of had control pretty much in the fourth quarter. Once they took the lead, they didn't relinquish it. I thought, you know, obviously with the 2 minutes and Castle hitting that three to put them up 6, that was like the backbreaker. But then again, we had another opportunity at least to get like the last possession, and Fox was just clinical, man. That was just like such an incredible shot for him to hit. Like that is exactly why. Yeah. That is exactly why you go get Darren Fox, man, for that veteran savvy, like milking the clock all the way down. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
That was painful. Him milking the clock was painful.
Yeah, just like dribbling around at the top of the key, taking it all the way down, 7 seconds on the shot clock, and then
Towns holding on to Wemby. Fox gets into the paint, puts up jumper, got it! The Aaron Fox with a clutch bucket right there.
Obviously, lifelong Knicks fan calling the game has to be neutral, and he is like, got it.
Literally because you still have hope. You could at least tie the game and go into OT. There, everyone still is like, with bated breath, like,
Bated breath,
and then he makes it, and it's just like,
that was it. That was it. That was like, there was two back-breaking shots. It was that one, obviously, which iced it, and then this Castle 3, which, I mean, kudos to Castle, man. Like, the shot making between the two of them. These two shots were the shots of the game. So interesting that Wemby down the stretch like really didn't have an impact. It was these two guards.
Shot clock at 4. Now the dribble. Shot clock winding down. Castle has to put it up. Bang!
Oh my God.
Castle from
I didn't realize that was a bang. That was a bang from Breen. Well earned, well deserved. Yeah, it's insane. See, I told you, like, my attention, I'm just like always. The Breen bang, I did not know that was a Breen bang, but very, very well deserved. I'll say, look, the energy in the Garden, and that was like my take. Let's get back to the takes. The atmosphere was just weird. It was just very like nervous. And I think obviously, Trump coming, it totally upends the normal plan that you have.
And when every ticket is upwards of $5,000, I think people are like gonna lose it.
You're also just getting like, the people that are going to this game, if they're not season ticket holders and they're able to afford a ticket like that, you're getting like a different type of crowd. Not saying that they're not, any less passionate, but they're probably not as diehard of a Knicks fan. It's like more of like an experience at that point. It's more of like to say that you were there rather than going for the reason. It's like, oh, I was at the finals game 3, the first one at MSG. It's almost like you want to be able to tell the story more so than you are living and dying with like every single possession, which is why I think you combine that with the fact that like, Trump is there and they have to do this entire plan that they'd never done before. That was clearly a mess. That was like not well organized at all. You had like a 3-avenue by 2-block perimeter in the city, which is like the biggest I've ever seen. I've never seen them shut down that much space around the Garden for anything, like, ever. So I think you had a lot of people that were coming in. They got there so early. They were so nervous that they, by the time the game started, they probably were a little bit tired. And I think where that showed up was especially in the third quarter after halftime, when I was looking at DJ Khaled and all those people in Celebrity Row who were clearly just there to be seen. And then at the start of the third quarter, nobody on Celebrity Row. The only guy there was Ben Stiller and like Tim Chalamet, who had just been there all season. So it's like, that's what happens when you get all these celebrities and all these people that are, super rich, is like, they're just there to be there. They don't actually care about like the game. They want halftime to stay like longer.
Yeah. I think it was Noah D's take. Oh, thank God somebody said something about it on RateGame. Somebody wrote a take about it, because while I was watching the game, I kept being like, what the heck is DJ Khaled doing on his phone? He would not lift his head up.
Noah
He's on, Noah Schaff. He's on the court. He's court side.
Yeah.
And he's staring at his phone. I couldn't believe it.
Who, like, how does he even get tickets to that? Oh my God, it drives me crazy when people sit courtside and spend the entire game on their phone, dude. Exactly, so crazy.
Exactly, Flame. It was infuriating. It's a perfect word.
DJ Cal, what do you expect? Brother is a living meme. I don't blame you, though. I know if I saw that as a Knicks fan, I'd be infuriated too. I was saying the same thing. Yeah. Likes all around, man. It's like, I guess, if you're going to go courtside as DJ Khaled, you're just going to be DJ Khaled, and like, that's your persona. I don't expect DJ Khaled to even know like what the hell's going on in a basketball game. Yeah, but it's just like, I think he embodies the kind of energy that I was feeling from the Garden, which was not what I'm used to all playoffs long and all season long, for it to be like the biggest moment when we could have used the crowd. Like, we could have used that chaotic, electric, like, kind of like willpower, defense, like those chants mean and matter more than I think fans even realize, because you get to the fourth quarter, it's a one possession game and they hit 2 big shots and then it's like we're totally deflated, we're totally out of it. And I think that's how the winning streak ultimately came to an end. I think the crowd actually played a big part in it, or the lack of the crowd, I'll say, played a big part in it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I will say, I think out of the last 13 games that we've seen the Knicks play, this 14th game, they were not playing the same way that they have been playing. They did a good job, but I think that they could feel that the game was slipping away from them, and they reverted to the old Knicks.
The old Knicks? What?
Not the prime Knicks.
They
were getting sloppy. They were taking threes that they shouldn't have taken. They were passing it to players that they maybe shouldn't have been passing it to in these clutch moments. It got sloppy. It got a little sloppy in the end. I think they could, and I get it. The pressure was on and the game was slipping from them. So
also just a testament to the fact that it is hard to win 13 games in a row. It's like, it's insane, especially to do it in the playoffs. Like you just said it, Flame. You can now claim the second longest playoff winning streak in NBA history. That's like nothing to scoff at.
No, that's definitely something.
Definitely something. And I think, maybe they just need to get that out of their system. So back for Wednesday, when there's no fanfare, there's no like extra, we'll say curriculars with having to plan for, or the president coming to a game, I think we will see a return to MSG, the return to the faithful. Hopefully like the tickets drop a little bit, because it won't be a clinching game anymore, because the people that want that kind of ticket, again, are just not the same people that are going to show up for just a game where, yes, it's very important, and yes, it's a home game at MSG, but we're still now going back to San Antonio. So the series can no longer end on Wednesday. And I think we'll just see a more, I don't want to call it authentic, because like if you're able to go to MSG for the finals, I would like to believe that you are a basketball fan and you are there to appreciate it. So I don't want to say that like the people that were there on Monday weren't real and weren't authentic, but I think on Wednesday we will see like more of the New York energy, more of like the MSG spirit, and like the aura that the Knicks feed off of. So that's my hope. And good game, Spurs, man. I think look, we need to watch some of these fouls together, because I am not one to say that a game should be decided on, certain plays, certain fouls. Let's be honest with each other, folks. Like this is in every game that I've seen, at least every basketball game that I've watched, this is a flagrant foul. This is like an immediate play. This is by frustrated Brunson. Oh, come on.
That's excuse me. That should be a flagrant one.
There we go. Mollie said, "Get him out." Flagrant. Kick him out.
I immediately screamed, "Flagrant! Get him off the court! Out! He's out for the game."
That's an alien move. That should be.
You just can't be beating up Jalen like that. Like he's little. Like you can't do that. He's just a baby.
It is pretty funny to see the contrast here, like the tiniest guy on the court and the biggest guy on the court, and Wemby essentially just like swatting him like as if he's a fly. Like, look at this, just like back of the neck. That's no good. You can't be doing that. I mean, everyone compared to Wemby looks little. Yeah, so true, Flame. But I mean, I don't care who it is. Wemby, anybody does that. That's like, you just can't do that. So that was bad. Then you had this, which was the delay of game that I wrote about in my take. So basically, they call the substitution, but the play is going on. So it's like, you missed it. You missed the chance. And then all of a sudden, the refs like stop.
Give them more chance for a review, but it's not working. What is going on?
Right here.
And they blow the whistle. They inbounded the ball and then stopped it all of a sudden. They handed the ball to the Knicks. The ball went inbound. Mark Davis and Curtis Blair now discussing it.
They were trying to get. They're trying to do a sub.
Trying to do a sub.
More time to look at the iPad. That sub buys them. They're trying
Crazy.
to sub right now to give them more.
So disjointed. And then you had this elbow right to Brunson's throat. Like the Spurs were just I guess the message on the board in the locker room from Mitch and maybe Pop was like, you just gotta
meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
Well, clearly an offensive foul. The impact and the follow through
get any sort of penalty.
Lead to the
I don't
flagrant.
know how you call it.
Free throws.
Flagrant.
Like,
offensive foul.
Look at Jalen.
Well, clearly an offensive foul.
Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that, especially at the Garden too. I mean, that was crazy. Like, you had all the Knicks fans watching that, calling it out basically. And then this from Carter Bryant too was kind of crazy. This is after the fact, right into Cat's ribs.
Miscommunication, pulls up, jump shot, got it.
That's the replay.
Watched it from Kyrie Irving for multiple years. It doesn't matter how big the player is.
I didn't even see that.
Miscommunication, pulls up, jump shot, got it.
Oh my God, someone needs to give Carter a timeout. He's also another baby.
He's got the baby face, but Carter Bryant was definitely told to go in and make Cat's life, we'll say, like, air quote, difficult. So that is not a basketball play. That is just dirty. That's like
that was street fighting out there.
A little bit of New York street fighting, which unfortunately they kind of took to the streets after the game. Knicks fans were not nice to Spurs fans last night. I did not like to see those videos from the streets of New York, which I didn't show you, but it's bad.
I didn't see that, and I probably don't want to.
Yeah, it was very bad. Knicks fans were not welcoming, not hospitable.
I don't think New York fans are actually known for their hospitality, though. So it is a little on brand.
It is a little. I mean, that's what happens when you get the streets of New York together, and you have all of the police and riot gear. All right, so this is crazy. You got to do some lip reading here. Mike Brown basically says to the ref, like, you on this play you called a foul, and on that play you called a travel. And look what the ref says after he has like a think about it.
Because how many times do you see a player go and start
hey bro, over here you called a foul, over there you called a travel.
And it seems sometimes they just,
oh shit, you're right. Did you see? He goes,
what? Oh my God, wait
over there,
and over there
you called a travel.
And it seems sometimes they just,
oh shit, you're right. He goes, oh shit, you're right. He like has a think about it too. Mike Brown, over here you call it a foul, but over there you called it a travel. Oh shit, you're right. How funny is that? So that was.
I understand the refs are only human and people make mistakes with their naked eye. But even if with the Jalen Brunson like blowouts, I don't know what you call those blowouts.
No, blown calls, like the blown calls.
Even with those, with the replay, like that's just so flagrant to me. So it's just a confusing game in that way. I'm not
very confusing. Yeah. I think you combine that with just like the nervous energy. It was a very weird game, and credit to the Spurs. They made the shots. They definitely took advantage of the opportunity to get a win at Madison Square Garden. Is what the Hawks did it. And the Spurs did it. That's about it. So, and the Hawks did it one time. So the Spurs are the second team. The Spurs got the second ever win at MSG in this playoff run by the Knicks, which is insanely impressive. Insanely impressive. We're now, 16 games in? All right. So Flame says, these refs are also supposed to be the best. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the finals crew too. It's like, what are the standards here to get these guys in for, the NBA finals, the top of the top? Go back to the board for some Spurs takes. Spurs in 7. Thank you, Donald Trump, for bringing negative energy to the Garden. Please come back for game 4. Please just don't come to San Antonio. Yeah, he would never come to San Antonio. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think that was the only time we'll see him. I really hope that's the only time we'll see him. I don't want to have to deal. I wouldn't want the fans who are going to any of these games to have to deal with that again. It's just like so ridiculous. And it clearly, I think, had an impact on the game. So if he is a real fan, he should know that his presence is not needed. New York Knicks have celebrities everyone dislikes and a dumb president. San Antonio Spurs have Random nuns and unknown OnlyFans models. Interesting. I guess they must be known if you know that they're on OnlyFans. One of these teams is for the 1%, while the other team is for the people. I guess from if you put it like that, sure, but the Knicks, I would say, have the most cohesive team. If the word team is really what we're talking about, the Knicks are way more of a team than the Spurs are. Beat the sweep allegations. Yes, you did. Listen to this one on the radio. Wow, very cool. Had me on the edge of the seat for at least for the last quarter and a half. God, I hope this means we have a series. I mean, I think even if the series doesn't go past like 5 games, I think it's still, every game has been awesome so far. Every game has been an 8 or better, with last game being in the 9s. Game 2, I think, is like a 9-1 or 9-0, maybe even a 9-2. Let's see. 9-0 flat. So we have an 8-4, a 9-0, and an 8-1 so far. This has been an incredible, incredible finals. Back here, 126. At least we weren't swept. Knicks in 5, sadly. This guy is always so pessimistic. We finally get a game. Let's go. Congratulations, Raya. Who is Victor? Oh, this is a great take. This is the top take. Who is Victor Wembanyama? To the blind, he's the light. To the hungry, he's the man who feeds. To the thirsty, he's the living water. If Wemby thinks it, I agree. If Wemby speaks, I listen. If Wemby has one fan, it's me. If Wemby has no fans, then I no longer exist. It's like poetry, man. That's a great, great take. I said something to the effect of, oh, I didn't like this. The officiating was bad. Yes, we talked about that. And the shot making was great. We also talked about that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, being here in the city, I was having the time of my life with my friends, and just the atmosphere was awesome. But I will say, I'm definitely eating my words for calling out Wemby for drawing before the game yesterday, right here. So I will own that, hand up. I will say that clearly it did not impact his mentals, and he actually came out super strong. I thought Wemby was a force in the first period. He was in the first quarter specifically. He was everywhere. And I think, you know, for somebody who's 22 years old in their first MSG finals appearance, that was as well as you could, you know, that's exactly what you could have asked for if you are his coaches, if you're a Spurs fan. Certainly if you're Wemby, I'm sure he, you know, had to hype himself up, get himself up for that. So all credit to him. And yeah, I guess if you draw before the game and that helps you, then keep doing it. I'll just say whoever let him into Gramercy Park, please do not let him in for game 3. I made the quip that he was drawing a sign and the sign said Knicks in 5. So I will stick to that. I will stick to that as my series call. I went from Knicks in 6 to Knicks in 4 to Knicks in 5. Let's see, Flame, what did you think of this one as a neutral? Fitting, the Knicks would make it as hard as possible for the Spurs to end their winning streak. San Antonio got a massive win that likely saved their chances. Even though there are definitely things you could say from the officials, it would be wrong to not credit the Spurs for stepping up, which started and ended with Wemby. It appears drawing in a park may have helped him, as he was fantastic in this one. The Knicks wall didn't prove to be as effective when there's a guy who could just reach over it. Not to mention he creates his own moving wall on the defensive end. Wemby couldn't do it on his own against this Knicks team. So Castle stepping up throughout the game and Fox finally waking up at the end was massive. Yeah. Although I'm happy this series isn't going to be a sweep, my heart goes out to OG, who may have had the best game of his career. Yeah, OG was amazing. Also, shout out to New York for giving Trump his deserved welcome by booing him any chance they got. Yeah, I mean, that was always the case. That was always going to be the case for Trump. I think he was with Jim Dolan the entire night in the owner's suite. And I'm seeing on the feed today that he left with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, I think was what Peter Schrager said on Pat McAfee's show. So didn't even stay for the whole thing. Guess he had to get out of there for security reasons, which makes sense. But I don't think his presence inside the arena impacted the game at all. It was more so just the fanfare and all of the preparation that needed to happen in such a short amount of time that ultimately impacted everybody else in that building, which is unfortunate. So on to game 4. On to game 4 on Wednesday. I'll be here, and we will be back for that. What are you going to say?
I'm just gonna say Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5?
Knicks in 5. I'm not, my hope is a little shattered, but Knicks in 5. We stay strong.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And I hope Jalen brings it.
And she hopes Jalen brings it. Okay, there you have it, folks. All right, so let us do the old spin. Oh, no, I want to just really quick touch on this baseball game just because it was fantastic. So coming into Rate Game World, and I see this bad boy atop the charts. And last year, I remembered that the Pirates and the Rockies played a game not as crazy at this because it was in regulation. The game only went 9 innings. There was no extras. But I believe the score was 17-16. And it was like very, very similar script. There was, I think, a 6-run differential going into like the 7th and 8th inning. And the Rockies came all the way back, won on a walk-off homer. So whenever I see games like this, 15-14, and when I see the rating as high as it was, it took me right back. And sure enough, there just was like so much going on in this game. And I think some highlights here. So Nick Kurtz had 2 home runs. First of all, this park to me, and maybe this is why this game was so nuts. It seems so tiny. Like it seems like a not regulation size. It seems like, they were playing in a, I think Sutter Health Field last season, which I know for a fact was small, on the small side. But if this is like their new quote unquote home, then I don't think this is a regulation like ballpark in terms of just the measurements of the fences.
2-2. High drive to right. It's a 1-run game.
It's like a little league field. Like he smoked that. He smoked that way over everybody's head. Like you see the guy looking over the wall there. Like where are they looking over here? This is the bottom of the 10th, by the way. The A's are down.
His second homer of the game, 14-13. This game is absolutely insane.
And then look at this. Look at this Wilson Contreras. Absolute Looney Tunes on the knees here.
Speed. 3-0 pitch. A drive. Deep center field. It is out of here. What a bomb from William Contreras on 3-0.
Took him to his knee. Well, that's actually a good shot of the park. Hold on. Let's watch him go to his knee one more time.
3-0 pitch. A drive. Deep center field.
Like, look at this shot of him on his knee. I thought there was a still of it. Hold on a second. Just an insane Looney Tunes. Here it is. Here it is. Look at this. So good. Just like sitting, watching. He's got the hand up. He knows it's gone. Top of the 10th, 3-run bomb. Puts them up 14-10. And then Nick Kurtz comes back. And then I think Jonathan Heim, who was a designated hitter. Let me see. Yeah. Comes in. Bottom of the 10th, 2 out, 3-1 count, designated hitter, and I think backup catcher.
Hit in the right field. Back goes Perkins at the wall. It is gone. It is gone. A tie game.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I just can't believe it.
Final strike. Heim has tied it. It's 14-14.
He's exasperated. That's fantastic. And then how did they win? How did this one end up going final? I think somebody said in the takes it was like an error. Let me see. Andrew Vaughn gets the player of the game. This was the MLB equivalent of jingling keys in front of a baby. Snail. Great take. I'm bored. I'll just put on a game. Brewers A's is on. This should be fine. 11 homers, 7 lead changes, 29 combined runs. Never, ever, ever leave a game early. Great take. WTF. What did I just watch? 4 hours plus in this economy. Also, some things may have been broken on that John Heim homer. Who's to say? Generally, ban the stadium from any MLB game because of pop out. Yeah. Okay. It's not just me. This stadium definitely is not your regulation size. Brewers came back to tie it, and then the roller coaster began. Abner Uribe, you are my GOAT. What a hold to keep it tied. Fielder's choice gives the crew the lead, and Jeff McNeil strikes out on 3 pitches to end it. Today should be fun. Wow. That Mojo 26. So I got back on RateGame after like 4 days at 1 a.m. in the morning, and this game was still going on. Watching highlights of this was some good baseball on both ends. Solid game for both teams, and shout out Vaughn with a stellar game overall with 4 RBIs. Cat. Even with the loss, I can't deny how great this game was. I turned it on after the NBA game, so I only started watching in the 5th. But even just looking at the stats, you can tell this is a crazy game. 10 home runs and going 12 innings, and the A's coming back and scoring 4 after being down 4 in the 10th is just insane. That is insane. Never going to bed again. 34 hits, 29 runs, 11 home runs, and 444 pitches thrown. That's an incredible stat. Thank you, Preston. Bro, imagine your ERA after this. William Contreras has to take a seat to admire his home run. So true. They should make awards for games like this. Not a blowout, just an offensive barrage from both squads. It's truly beautiful. Amen. Raise up, dude. Amen. Game of the year in Major League Baseball. The wildest game you will ever see. Holy effing shit. They took a pitcher, Kyle Harrison, who had a 1.57 ERA, and destroyed him. Athletics had a home run derby going on. Milwaukee joined in on the fun, and both teams homered like baseball sickos. Pitching changes every minute. Wilson Contreras, 3-run shot, 400-something to get a 4-run lead over the A's. But did the Athletics give up? No. This ballpark is effing shit. Shea Langeliers homers. Nick Kurtz, too. Jonathan Heim makes it 14-14. Bryce Terang hits into a force out, and Christian Yelich has the maddest dash since Enos Slaughter. 15-14. Even the crew chief wanted to go home. Jeff McNeil goes down on 3 strikes. Like a fucking dumbass. And there's ball game, folks. Most runs this year, 11 combined home runs, 16 ABS challenges. Wow. 16. Yes, you heard me. 16. That's the record. I'm typing this by candlelight now, burning the last of the wax. Peace. Nice take, Kings fan. That's like your magnum opus. As of June 9th, 2026, this is 100% the game of the year. There was home runs everywhere. Both teams going shot for shot, hit for hit. The A's open up their Vegas series. I never knew they were doing that. Yeah, same. They did not make any fanfare out of this. Shame on the MLB. They should have made such a bigger deal out of this. I had no idea this was happening. Okay, nice. Absolutely insane way to debut the Las Vegas ballpark. Rarely give a 10 out of 10 to a game I didn't watch, but man, this deserves it. Shea Langeliers sent the first pitch to an Athletic in Nevada, 483 feet. So a homer on the first pitch in the new stadium, that is iconic. 11 total home runs. If this is really what the stadium is like, then Nick Kurtz will be the one in Barry Bonds. With the automatic runner on second, you rarely ever see a game go 12 innings, but man, this certainly did. The A's led 9-5, then 10-7, but this game was just never over. Looked like the Brewers had a huge rally lined up in the 8th, but Terang ground into a double play to end it. In the 9th, Andrew Vaughn stepped up and tied it 10-10, then the absurd 10th inning. The Brewers got their first run on a sac fly, and then William Contreras swung the bat so hard he ended up on his butt and still at homer. But of course, even at 14-10, it wasn't over. Whiteberry Bonds went yard to make it 14-13. Then Jonah Heim, I keep calling him Jonathan. Jonah Heim tied it. Classic A's fashion. They just lost on an error. Wow. Game of the year. Easily the game of the year. Easily the game of the year. Congrats to all those who watched, honestly. What a treat. What a treat. Imagine going from a finals game to this game. That's just like such a special little surprise. Just the craziness of a finals game. And when they're going shot for shot, or at least the Spurs are, right into some extra innings baseball out in the desert. That's why sports are the best, man. All right. Let us get off on, just out of curiosity, though, I do want to see what that Pirates-Rockies ended up. There it is. Wow. 0.1 higher. 22 hits, 22 and 18. Yeah, I remember. It was a 4-run deficit that they came back from. So very, very similar. Similar script. Another classic. Should make a list with those two games. Absolutely epic. All right, here we go, folks. It is time for host nation number 2. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Here we go to the bracket. This is how we add our host nation. Boom. And now we click in. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know Claude had prepared a. Okay. And now, are you ready for, oh. It would have been cool if it knew Mexico, but too much to ask for Claude, I guess. Yeah, exactly, Flame. I was giving Claude too much credit. I know I should know better at this point. All right, so Mexico, here we go. The stadiums. So Canada had 2, Mexico has 3. We have Estadio Azteca, which I think is did I not have it? Hold on a second. All right, I need to put it in RateGame. We'll read from Claude here. 83,000. I think so. They did a huge disservice, I think, for not having the opening game in this stadium. I think the opening game is going to be in either this one or this one. I think I'm sorry, not the opening game. The opening game is in Estadio Azteca. I think the final should have been in Estadio Azteca and not MetLife Stadium. I think they did a huge disservice. But FIFA just, this is just like classic FIFA, having it in the more like commercially viable stadium as opposed to like the more historic and like deserving stadium. It's like, instead of the most obvious choice, let us do the worst, and like not just like optically, but also the worst logistically because of the commercial you know, just to say that you have the World Cup final in quote unquote New York. It's not even in New York, it's in New Jersey. So they totally missed the plot, which FIFA just has an incredible knack for doing. See, like opened in 1966, capacity of 83,000. Estadio Azteca in Mexico City is hallowed ground. The cavernous home of Club America and the Mexican national team, perched at over 7,200 feet of altitude that has broken visiting sides for generations. For 2026, it carries the sponsor name Estadio Banorte. Interesting. What does that mean, Banorte? Is that a sponsor? History and legacy. It is the only stadium to have hosted 2 World Cup finals in 1970. Oh, so it's already even hosted a final? That's crazy, man. In 1970 and 1986, the stage for Pele's 3rd title and Maradona's Hand of God and Goal of the Century. Dude, the more I read, the more angry I get. In 2026, it makes history again, hosting the tournament's opening match in 2 days on June 11th, a 3rd World Cup for the most storied venue in the sport. Wow. Then you have Estadio BBVA Bancomer in Monterrey, nicknamed El Gigante de Acero. The Steel Giant is the home of the Rayados de Monterrey and one of the most striking stadiums in the Americas, framed by the dramatic Cerro de Silla mountain beyond one end. Let's see this bad boy now. I'm curious. Oh my God. Wow. You got to be kidding me. Holy smokes. That is gorgeous. That is crazy. Wow. That like almost doesn't look real. Absolutely breathtaking. Well, I know what image I'm using for the stadium. Yeah, thank you, Flame. I mean, this too is just like a sensational backdrop for a football match. I cannot wait to see the production and the games played here. Man, America just doesn't have anything like this. So funny. Classic. All right. So that is so the history and legacy, a modern marvel of Liga Mexico. It has hosted the Club World Cup football and continental finals. Monterrey is one of 3 Mexican host cities for 2026, staging World Cup matches at this venue. And then Estadio Akron in Guadalajara, opened in 2010, capacity of 48,000. Estadio Akron in Zapopan, Guadalajara is home of the Chivas, Mexico's most popular club, known for its dramatic design that rises from landscape like a volcano crowned with a cloud-like roof. I think this one's on RateGame. Let's see. Yes. Can do a better job with the photos here. We gotta pretty this up in time for the World Cup. Let's see if there's any better pictures. Oh my goodness. Yes, the cloud-like roof. There it is. That is so cool. So I guess it keeps everybody dry in here, and then the pitch can still get wet because it is grass. So they'll just have to deal with the elements. Very cool. It's a modern Liga Mexico showpiece. It has hosted Pan American games and continental fixtures. As one of Mexico's host cities, it stages 2026 World Cup matches in the country's soccer-mad second city. Awesome. So 3 stadiums, each equally impressive. You have the history of Estadio Azteca. Let's see this bad boy. Just right in the heart of it all, Mexico City. They even did like a little write-up. Not not the best picture of it, though. Well, I guess that's actually pretty good. I got to find like a high-res 4K. And I love Facebook now, future, and it's like minimal differences. In case anyone was curious what's going on in Facebook land. All right. So incredible stadiums for Mexico. Here is their incredible cuisine. Tacos, obviously. Tamales. Chilaquiles. What are chilaquiles? Huevos rancheros mixed with nachos. Wow. She thinks, Mollie thinks that's what chilaquiles are. Just fun to say. Mole poblano, pozole. Oh, yeah. Estadio Azteca will become the first stadium ever to host 3 different World Cups. Let's go. That's amazing. Key dates: the fall of Tenochtitlan. The fall of Tenochtitlan in 1521. 1810, independence declared. 1970, the first time they hosted the World Cup. 1986, the second time they hosted the World Cup. Notable people: Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, Gael Garcia Bernal, and Hugo Sanchez. Fantastic. That's crazy. Notable people. I don't know, Claude. I think you could have done better there. Frida Kahlo, though, I respect. Fun fact. Here we go. Mexico has been to the World Cup quarterfinal twice, both times at a World Cup they hosted. Wow. Okay, so there you go. They get that motivation. 60 matches all time, 17, 15, and 28. Lots of goals against, almost doubled up. 66 to 102. They qualified as an automatic, right? As soon as the drawing, basically. And they're in a group with Mexico, South Korea, South Africa, and Czechia. I like their chances. Schedule. They are playing in the opening up against South Africa. Then they are traveling to Guadalajara to play South Korea, and then back home for Czechia. So all games on the homeland, of course. Here we go. All right. Here's who the host nation Mexico is trotting out. They have Edson Álvarez from West Ham, 28 years old. Eredivisie title with Ajax in 2021 and 2022. Premier League regular at West Ham and the El Tri captain. Rematch of the 2010 opener is what Flame is saying for that opening game. Very cool. Nicknamed Makin, earned by his uncle for his stubbornness as a child. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but that's cute. Santiago Giménez, he plays for Feyenoord. He's 25 years old. Eredivisie top scorer in 2023-24. Feyenoord title in 2023. Mexican Liga Mexico champion with Cruz Azul. Son of former Mexican international Christian Chaco Giménez, born in Buenos Aires while his dad played there. Very nice. Herving Lozano. Herving, not Irving. Herving. He plays for PSV. He's a winger. 30 years old, Serie A title with Napoli in 2023, scored against Germany and Russia in 2018 to win the group. Eredivisie title with PSV. Did you know? Known as Chucky, a childhood nickname from teammates who said his pranks reminded them of the horror movie doll. Very nice. And we're doing good on the roster so far. Raúl Jiménez, Fulham, striker, 35 years old, 2 appearances. Here's their savvy vet, Mexican all-time top scorer in the Premier League. Very nice. Returned from a fractured skull in November of 2020 to play 18 months later. Wolves Player of the Year 2018-19. His comeback after a head-on collision with David Luiz is one of the most remarkable in modern football. Wore protective headband for 2 seasons. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I hope not. Oh, Jimenez is going. Jesus. This guy's tough as nails. And then we have Cesar Montes. He plays for Espanyol. He's 29 years old. Liga title with Monterrey in 2019. La Liga regular with Espanyol, Mexico's defensive leader. Did you know has the same nickname as a 1980s Mexican striker? Cachorro Puppy, a name he's grown into at only just under 2 meters tall. He's a tiny guy. They didn't mention Ochoa, the keeper. Where is he? He's there. 152 caps. He got the call. Isn't he their starting keeper, Flame? Yeah, dude, this guy. Unbelievable. He is fascinating to watch, especially when there's like penalties. He is just somebody who plays those head games. Yes, let's go. I saw when they got the announcement to him. He, I think, is playing in like his third or fourth, maybe. Yeah. Yep. This is just a bunch of veterans that are going to be in this one. Between him, even Neymar, certainly Ronaldo, certainly Messi. It's just like the end of an era. It's like this generation's final time. 5th World Cup. Wow. Incredible. 2006. Okay. Insane. What a run. Here's their style. Compact 4-3-3 with inverted fullbacks, quick ball circulation, relies on Alvarez as a deep lying shield. Oh, classic kits. Fantastic colors. Only 4 players that played in the 2006 World Cup. Modri, he's another one. Luka Modri, man. Wow. Just all-time names going out with this one. It's just a World Cup for the ages, man. Tier 4, Dark Horse, round of 16, realistic. Yes, I absolutely concur. They have the juice. They have the aura. They're also in a cupcake group. I could see them not losing. I could totally see them not losing, at least in group play. Yeah, I think they will advance, no doubt. Ochoa steals the game, finishes second in the group. Interesting. Behind who? South Korea, Flame? You think? Or Czechia? Is Czechia stronger than South Korea? South Korea takes it. Okay. Fair enough. The stadiums, man. The stadiums are epic. Let's see how many we got in. Just do this one more time because I want to see. Thank you. Lovely. $246 ratings in Mexico. And tomorrow we'll bring it home. We will bring it home on day of game 4. Tomorrow is going to be the final day for the final 48. What a journey. Right in time. Here we go. What a journey it's been. Insane. 47 out of 48. Just marching. And a lot of stadiums to cover, obviously, in the U.S. We have, I think it's, 16 host cities. So 3 in Mexico, 2 in Canada. That means there's going to be 11 stadiums to cover tomorrow. So strap in, folks. As always, thank you for hanging out with me and this incredibly janky setup I got going on. At least the lighting's good. Thank you, Kings fan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not gonna, we won't do a recap just yet because we got one more day. We got we got my country 'tis of thee tomorrow. But I will say it's been very, very fun to do the old globe spin every day. All right, folks. Rate Game is free. It's fun. It's for fans of all ages. My name is Nick Mark George. It's a great day to rate some games. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. And I will sign off. And I will say I will see you tomorrow. Not sure on timing yet, but I will definitely see you tomorrow. That is a promise. Until then.